All right, so let's keep on. Here are our community agreements. We invite you to participate as much as you can tonight. We'll do our best to make it interactive. We have some special guests I think you'll enjoy talking with in the chat. Keep your camera on if you're able and respect this visual space. We don't want to see the top of your head. If we could see your face, if you're on camera, that would be great. Keep your microphone muted so we don't have distracted background sounds. For our speakers and special guests, keep your microphone muted unless you're speaking. You can use the emojis and Zoom to react. You'll find those at the bottom of your screen or your phone. We're going to invite folks to keep it respectful, listen with curiosity. Feel free to take space when you're invited in, and then also make space for others if you notice you're taking up a lot of space. We invite you to use I statements when you're speaking, and I will step in for Elda and let you know if you're over time for your speaking. So your navigation, if you have any questions, there is a hand raise function down at the bottom of your screen. And I will be also helping with any Zoom technical difficulties. There's live closed captioning available, and the materials, again, that we share today in the chat, we'll also share those in emails. If you look at the bottom of your screen, you can find the icon for the reactions, and then you can also under there find the raise the hand feature. All right, and with that, I'm going to turn it over to our hub team.
All right, y'all. Welcome back to the second iteration of Echo Black Voices. I see a lot of familiar faces from last year. Last year, we did a summer series of education by way of the California Worker Outreach Project, where we did a lot of intentional education for Black workers around worker rights. We had a series of different topics every month, ranging from wage theft to discrimination to anti-retaliation. And this year, we're looking to continue that education specifically around access to different pathway opportunities. I am Darren Lewis. I'm the program manager with the SoCal Black Worker Hub. We are essentially a coalition made up of Black worker centers across the Southern California region, LA, IE, SD, 2 incubating in Long Beach, and the HD, which is High Desert. I should really be a rapper. And we also collaborate and have partnership with other Black-led organizations throughout Southern California as well. A lot of our work is essentially focused around policy change and empowering Black workers for Black worker justice across Southern California. And the hope is to have Black worker justice across this country. Okay. Let's go to the next slide. All right, so I did say this is the second iteration of Echo Black Voices. So last year, you all probably just heard it be hashtag Echo Black Voices. This year is hashtag Echo Black Voices Power and Pathways. Again, this year we're looking to focus our work again on worker rights education, but primarily on access to different industry pathways. So we're looking to collaborate with industry-specific organizations across different sectors that specifically work with, Black and brown workers to get them access and entry points to industries and professional careers of their desires. And so a part of that will also still be the worker rights protections piece that we will continue to advocate, educate, and organize around. So yeah, by way of the presentation, I'll turn it over to Dawn where she can get into more of the pathways and protection piece.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Dawn Motkins. I'm the director of the Southern California Black Worker Hub. We have been super, super excited to kick this off this year. Excited for everyone who was with us last year, as Darren just mentioned. It has been a labor of love. We asked, I'll say you all, but if you weren't here, I'm referring to those who have been participating in this project with the California Worker Outreach Project. But I'll say you all because we asked you all last year about your interest and excitement about learning the workers' rights, learning about what to do when those rights are violated, right? The options around filing a claim, filing a lawsuit, and really lifting up organizing at work, right? How do we organize at work? How do we learn about who our colleagues are, who the various departments are, what are the policies and procedures in the workplace? How can we respond when they're violated? And oftentimes, organizing at work can be far more effective than the 3 years it might take for a lawsuit, right? Or the 8 months that it would take to file a claim with the EEOC, et cetera. So, but we asked last year, a lot came up as we were learning about worker rights. What else would we like to get out of next year's edu series? And what some things that were coming up, for example, when we were talking about wage theft, I remember some conversations from folks being like, you know, a lot of us are not necessarily working in industries where there's high levels of wage theft. However, the fact that we're often limited, there are so many barriers, and oftentimes have very little access to particular industries that we may want to work in, right? But whether that's the service industry, we know that less than 1% of Black workers are in the hotel industry, right? If we think about agriculture, if we think about some of the warehouse industries, the construction industry, right? And so folks were like, we want to talk about, you know, the various industries that we would like to just have remove barriers from and gain some information about in those industries, learn about various pathways into those industries, and then obviously keeping ourselves protected in these industries. We're often, as being a minority group in them, we're still dealing with anti-Blackness, systemic white supremacy in all of the ways. And so how are we keeping ourselves protected, and how can we organize, and how can we remain well while we are at work, which the Earth Lodge brings into this work so very well. And so we created last year we created what we call our apps. We just kind of like abbreviated that, right? The access, pathways, and protections for Black workers in Southern California and beyond, right? We're focused on Southern California currently, but and beyond. And so what to expect throughout the program this year. We are just now launching this summer. Black August is coming up, our big Black August event that many of you may have attended. That will be happening next month. And so we'll, you know, that'll kind of be our major kickoff. This will run through winter and spring through next year, and we'll wrap around this time next year. And so there'll be a number of series where we will be bringing in experts from the various industries. So, and we have a couple of them this evening who we'll invite up to share a little bit more of the details, like a high level overview of the type of education that they'll be sharing with us about how to actually tap into these industries. So, for example, there's industry expert, SEIU, United Healthcare West. So SEIU service, oh my God. I worked for SEIU for years, service.
SEIU UHW?
Yeah, but I want to use the acronym, Service Employees International Union. So SEIU, UHW, United Healthcare West, will share a little bit about the career pathways. And let me just back up for a second, right? Being able to gain access into a particular industry is one thing, right? Being able to just go get a job there is one thing, filling out an application, having an interview, etc. Having an actual pathway where there is training provided, support provided, a wellness path provided, certifications provided. It's a very specific and concrete pathway to ensure successful and prepared employment into that industry. So we have the experts coming in. One with us tonight is with United Healthcare Workers, SEIU, who will share a little bit about a pathway that they have into the healthcare industry. This is for tech workers, customer service reps, medical peer support, patient care, CNA certification. So they will share a little bit more about that. Today is just the launch. We're just giving a very high level overview of what the program will be. And but we will get into the weeds every month with the industry experts on exactly how to move through these pathways and gain employment into the various industries. The other one is with an organization called Grid Alternatives, who will share again a little bit high level of what their pathways look like, which includes training in green economy industries. So that's solar, might be electrical, a lot of retrofitting that the state of California needs done to get us off of old energy and onto green energy. Trade work, there are mobile units that they have where they're providing training. So we'll ask them to come up in just a moment. But before we do, one moment. Yes, I just wanted to cover what to expect throughout this education series this year, going into next year. And just wanted to give that overview who will come up shortly. We're going to invite our partners to come up and share next. So before those industry experts come, our partners will come up and share next about the experience with the California Worker Outreach Project. But I want to pause for a second. I just want to pause about, our programmatic stuff and just want to make an acknowledgement about the current state that we are also in with this attack on California, with this attack on our state, this political climate, with the snatching up of us and our neighbors, with, I don't know, we were all seeing it, we're all experiencing it in various ways, right? We know that this is not just a brown thing. We have Caribbean community, Haitian community, folks straight from the continent who are also deeply impacted. 1 in every 5 Black people either are direct descendants or their parents are direct descendants from those other Black countries. And so they are also being impacted. And frankly, right, this government cannot come for our state at all, period, not for any group. And so there is a lot of fight back that is happening currently. There are lawsuits that are being filed by organizations who have been experiencing retaliation. City of LA filed a lawsuit, the ACLU has a lawsuit going. So there are a number of cities that have been signing on to them. So just want to acknowledge that happening. We want to invite you all to share your reflections about how you feel like this attack on our state is impacting us as Black workers. So all of you on the call tonight, towards the end, we'll have a breakout session where you all can connect. We want to hear a little bit about your reflections on the attack on our state, how that's impacting us. And then of course, a little bit more about what more you might like to get out of this project this season, once we get through the program tonight, right? What more would you like to see out of it so that we can factor that in as we build forward? So I will stop there. Are there any questions? Well, if there's any questions, put them in the chat. I'll respond in the chat. If you have any questions, feedback that can't wait until the breakouts, feel free to put them there and I'll respond there. And I will pass this to Darren to invite our partners to come up and share about our fuller representation from around SoCal and their experiences with CWOP.
Okay. Thank you, Dawn. Yeah, so considering that we have partners from our previous years to work with us on this Echo Black Voices series, we want to invite a few partners up to talk about their excitement for Echo Black Voices Powering Pathways this year, and also just kind of share openly what your experience was last year and what you're looking to gain out of this year, specifically knowing that we're looking to do the pathway access points for our Black workers and your Black workers as well. So I'm not for sure if Aaliyah, are you on a call? I know Cynthia Ruffin is on the call as well. Aaliyah, you in the building?
I'm in the building, so happy to
Hi,
be
Divine
here.
Goddess.
Hello, how are you? Yes, that's my name. Yes, Darren Lewis in the building. Just happy to be here. Ali Javon here with the Earth Lodge. We promote wellness, Southern Indigenous, Black practices, LG BIPOC in the LA County. And we are on Zoom as well, so you can get us internationally. And we've been able to work with CWOP, to partner with CWOP, and it's just been an amazing funding opportunity for us to extend the rights of the workers. So with our program called Work Shouldn't Have to Hurt, you know, just to even have to say that is something to think about. So work shouldn't have to hurt. We're able to table in different areas of the Los Angeles community with our drumming. We have a drumming for wellness because that indigenous beat is really healing. Even just to sit in it and soak in it, it is healing for us. We also offer, we have our community garden that you can come and get some avocados, come and get some persimmons, and come and get some knowledge about workers' rights. We have plenty of that available for you. If you need an advocate, we can make some calls. We can CC us on the email just so you can let your provider know you have a whole association working with you. We stand with you. So it's just a beautiful opportunity to work with CWOP and be able to join that fight. But we are all about wellness. So I will put some links in the chat about some of our wellness services. We offer meditation classes, sound bowl, and these are all free to the community through CWOP. We're able to offer these classes where you can either come in person or on Zoom and get that healing that you so need, because 90% of our time we're consumed with work. Even when we're at home, we're thinking about work, prepping for work, getting ready for work. So some of that has to incorporate self-care, and self-care should be centered around the workplace. So we have a healing toolkit. Looking forward to our healing workspace at Black August 13th. Hopefully you can make it. It is definitely an event that you will not want to miss. Our wellness center. Were there any questions? Are we taking them at the end? Like I said, I'll put the email in the chat and some of our events that are coming up this month and next month. We've got you all summer.
For sure. Thank you, Aaliyah. We'll take questions at the end.
Okay.
Go ahead, Don. I see you asked a question. You're good. Go ahead.
Yeah, because we're throwing around CWOP a lot, and I realized I just saw in the chat a couple of people who are mentioning this is their first time. And so you're going to hear CWOP all night long and all year long. So just a real quick restate, CWOP, California Worker Outreach Project, started out around the pandemic several years ago when the state invested in doing outreach, engagement, education around worker rights as they related to the pandemic and to COVID. What folks found during that time, they formed a massive coalition across the state called CCWP, California Coalition for Worker Power. So if you hear CCWP, that's what that stands for, California Coalition for Worker Power. They built that coalition around that outreach and engagement to make sure that folks knew their rights around the pandemic. But what we found while they were doing that outreach is that workers were saying, we're experiencing violations of all these other rights, workers' comp stuff, safety and health stuff, wage and hour violations, and all kinds of retaliation in the workplace. And so we were able to shift those resources over the last couple of years from just a health bucket into a workforce bucket so that we can continue to build the coalition, to continue the outreach and education, and broaden the conversation around worker rights. And so this is a powerful coalition of worker centers to continue to do that outreach, engagement, and education so that folks are informed of their rights. And then each worker center inside of the coalition may have slight caveats in the way that they're providing information. So like us for the SoCal Black Worker Hub, we're a lead organization in that space, inviting other non-worker center organizations who want to incorporate a worker lens. We're all workers in some respect. Whether we identify as entrepreneurs and tending to the community, we're working for our community, right? And so that's what CWOP is. So just wanted to reground that for our newer folks in the room so that you were clear when you hear CWOP.
Thank you, Don. Also, let me say thank you again to Aaliyah as well from the Earth Lodge for sharing about your experiences and those services that you're offering to the community. Again, they're located in Long Beach. If y'all out here on this side of town, hit them up. All right. We got the Inland Empire next. Monet. Share what y'all up to, what y'all doing.
Yeah. Good evening, everyone. My name is Monet Warren. I'm the Associate Director here at the Inland Empire Black Worker Center. CWOP for us really has been like the catalyst for all of the initiatives, most of the initiatives that we have in motion right now. One of the major things that actually was birthed out of the Edu series last year was our community organizer ended up in one of the breakout rooms with the labor commissioner. They had a conversation, talked about the RAP program, and we ended up with the Workers' Rights Ambassador program, where we are literally educating community members on different workplace protections so that they are able to go back and share that information in their communities and with other workers, because not everyone is a part of a union, right? And not everyone has access to this information. Another really awesome thing that CWOP allowed us to do is it allowed us to put dollars into the Black community because we were able to hire some staff. We were also able to have different wellness fairs where we offered certain wellness strategies, like we gave 20-minute massages, free 20-minute massages, and we hired Black massage therapists. So we found creative ways to really tap in to put some of the dollars from CWOP back into the Black community. It also allowed us to, for the staff, have access to certain trainings to really go out and be able to do this work that we're doing. And each time we went out, we met different partners that it was like, hey, you do this, we do this, I do that too. Let's collaborate and let's do this other thing. And so we've been able to forge really intentional partnerships. And this round of CWOP, we are also going to be doing the RAP program again. We have gotten approval to incentivize it. And also speaking about incentives with our job fairs, we hosted a career fair that was a part of a 4-part series where we went over like worker ready strategies. And at the end of that, we did a job fair where we also incentivized hiring managers to come to our job fair and offer on the spot interviews for those who attended. And these weren't jobs at, your local fast food chain. These were jobs with family sustaining income. So we were able to really just put in a lot of intentional resources back into our community and really educate a group of people that weren't as aware. We were surprised to see how many folks really were unaware of these workplace protections, but also they were unaware of where to find them. So we're really excited to be able to offer the RAP program again this year. It will be in October. It will begin in October, beginning of October, and in September. We also just concluded our hiring. So we are again bringing back more Black workers to help us do this work. And we will have a lot of events that the Hub always posts to their network. So be on the lookout for those events if you are in the Inland Empire or know someone who is.
Hey, y'all got the whole pot over there, okay? And we appreciate it because we got to share this work and we got to spread it out. So shout out to Inland Empire for all the amazing work that you all are doing and for also returning. So shout out to both the Earth Lodge and Inland Empire and all of our returning members this year who's looking to continue to do this work with us and just be a part of the Black worker justice fight across the California state, okay? So we're gonna keep the ball rolling. Actually, I like this energy that is going. I think we can go to the next slide so we can get into our future partners or our new partners who's looking to enter our hemisphere and join it in this CWOP work. So I'm actually going to invite Ted from Ontario Future Alliance to come up and just share a little bit about why you're excited to join in on this work with us this year.
And how you're envisioning this supporting that work that you do in your community.
Thank you for having me. My name is Ted Burnett. I'm the founder of Ontario Futures Alliance, which is a collective of 13 community-based organizations that's committed to advancing economic, social, and environmental justice. Oh, I consider myself a Black environmentalist now, so holler at your boy. Um, and so we're a different collaboration of groups that includes like the NAACP, LULAC, which is the Latino civil rights group, MALO, which is the Tongan civil rights group, CCAJ, which is the environmental group, the Poor People's Campaign, and many more. And what we do is our work is rooted in believing that the progress that we make must be inclusive and that the development should never come at the expense of any other community that has been historically been ignored or underserved. And so what we do is we know that we have an intersectionality of all these different groups that we deal with, but the common cause is that we may have come here on different ships, but we're now in the same boat. So using that analogy, we continue to work for the Black workers. And when you have different organizations, Black, white, Latino, who believe that Black people are being exploited along with brown people, then it's easier to work with it, because instead of us fighting over peanuts, we get together and make peanut butter cookies and peanut butter shakes. And so it helps with having people who don't look like you to support you, along with educating the people who also look like you. And my subject matter expertise is that I'm a retired deputy director of SEIU Local 1000, which is the state workers union that represents 100,000 members. And I know the structural systemic racism is deep within the civil service system, because you can't even fill out an application unless you know the code words to be able to get into that. And so using that information and being able to understand what's the difference between a Deals Act for the state or the Myers-Miller-Brown Act for the county, it helps us educate and be able to get out in the community and tell people that there is hope. And without the black workers, there wouldn't be a Black middle class. And so I'm encouraged to be able to have an opportunity to work with CWOP and be able to use it as a conduit to be able to spread the news and the good works around the Inland Empire and Ontario. Thanks.
Thank you, Ted, for sharing, bringing in all that hot fire. That is super exciting, and we're so excited to collaborate with you all, see what you all do with your community work, how you spread the knowledge. Like, we're so excited and honored. All right, let's bring it back to Long Beach. Sheba from the Six, you on a call with us?
I'm here.
Hi, Sheba.
Hey. Hi, everyone. My name is Sheba, and I am with an organization called The Six. Our tagline is community for us, by us. And so we operate under the premise that a lot of times in Black communities, we are looking at everyone else with our hand out, and we have these high expectations for what they should do for us. But we decided that we would band together with other Black organizations and community groups and faith leaders, and that we would provide for the community ourselves. And in that, our superpower has always been social media activation. And in that activation, we're able to pull together African-American, like I said, organizations and groups. One of our premier events that we host each year is a Thanksgiving giveaway, but it's not the typical Thanksgiving giveaway. And so we give away turkeys, and this year we added hams. But what's unique is that we partner with all Black organizations, over 50, we're close to 60 now, and each of those organizations provides a specific item, and that item they provide over 100 of those, so that it's us giving back to our people. We also do a lot of enrichment activities, and we're so unapologetically Black that anytime there's anything going on in the city of Long Beach that involves Black people and that we think if it doesn't sit well with us, we're there and we're vocal and we're mobilizing and we're activating. And so we're excited to join on with this project because we know that there are some disparities in the way that information is disseminated. And we all know that knowledge is power. And so we have the ability through social media and through the demographic of people that we serve, which is very broad, dependent on the activity, to really make sure that people are empowered and moving from a place of knowledge. So we're super excited to come on board and to strengthen the community, especially the community that we serve, which is the 6th District of Long Beach.
Hey.
Hey, Don.
Shout out to y'all. Come on now, keeping it all in the community and representing and showing up when things don't sit right for us.
Hey, can I, Darren, can I ask Sheba a quick question?
Go ahead. Yeah.
Sheba, how do you envision incorporating, because I kind of heard a little bit of that from Ted, and I wanted to ask you, like, how do you envision incorporating this worker lens, right, in the various forms and ways that y'all connect with, outreach to, engage with Black community? How are you envisioning incorporating a conversation that is coming from a worker lens, right? Like our experiences as Black workers, our experiences as workers in the various industries across the communities, Black communities and organizations y'all work with? Like, how are you envisioning that?
I think, like I said, there's that disparity, right? Like people don't have those resources. They don't know where to turn. And so we would love to host a series of workshops so that people have that power, they have that knowledge base, so that then they become advocates and they can guide other people through it. It also strengthens us because then we have resources to provide for people, because even if we're doing our trunk or treat event, you have people approaching us at all times, asking us different questions, whether it's work questions or rent questions, or how do I navigate this within the city? We have turned into a resource for people. And so it's going to be valuable for us to be able to now provide this support to help guide people when they have those questions.
Thank you.
Oh, wow.
Okay. Thank you all for sharing. I'm excited to work with you all. We've been talking personally on the phone, so excited to get our hands and fingers in the grounds and doing the necessary deed. All right, I'm gonna turn it back over to Dunn to get in some of the expected outcomes from the work we're looking to produce this year and the coming year as well in 2026.
Thank you, Dee. I realized I shared a lot of this earlier. I think it wasn't
It'd be
supposed
like that. It'd be like that.
no
Be
wonder
talking
I
too
felt,
much.
I know. I was like, no wonder I felt like I was like running through it a lot. So in this part, yeah, the outcomes for this year's Edu series, I shared a lot above, but it is absolutely, we want folks to walk away each month that we do this, the last Wednesday of every month at 6:30 to 8, for folks to leave out of here with greater resources, information on ways to access various industries, technology industry, green economy, healthcare careers, trades careers. There are many. There's a slide we'll see later that shows some of the other industries that we'll be talking about ways to gain access to. And then, of course, leaving with potentially you or someone you know who might have interest to actually gaining employment in these industries. Y'all, regardless with what's happening right now, it is crazy. Like in the darkness, there's light, right? We find light in the darkness. So in these attacks on our state, we're also finding opportunities opening up. I want to share one example of a pathway in the hotel industry. I mentioned them earlier. There's been acknowledgement by the hotels, the owners, the corporations, by the unions who represent the workers in the hotels, like Unite HERE is the union. HERE stands for Hotel and Restaurant Employees. And they recognize this, what I personally kind of describe as this push out, this systematic white supremacists, and we know that white supremacy, systemic white supremacy, is not always necessarily about white people. It is a mindset, right? That Black workers have been pushed out of various industries. And so they recognize and acknowledge that, and they created a very concrete pathway specifically for Black workers to gain career employment back. These are union jobs, y'all. These are good benefits back into the hotel industry. These are positions, management positions, cook positions, front of the house, back of the house, customer service, like all the things. And so, and they're pretty, they're not like hella long programs, and, there's employment where people want it. And so, so one of those outcomes is we hope that folks take advantage of some of the pathways that you'll be learning about throughout the Edu series, right? We will continue to incorporate information about our workers' rights. In fact, we have with us tonight someone from the Labor Commissioner's Office, Sherry Bell, someone here from the California Civil Rights Department. We'll have folks on here later from like Department of Industrial Relations who will continue to share the rights. So we want people to leave informed, clear about how to file claims when your rights are violated. And then lastly, want folks to have some understanding about what organizing looks like. What does organizing in my workplace mean, right? And I shared a little bit about that earlier, so I won't repeat it. But those are some of the outcomes that we hope you all and folks who you bring into the monthly Edu series will be walking away with. I want to transition us. I want to invite in some of the experts from, just to give you again, that high level sample of what the pathways might look like in various industries. So we're going to ask for expert from the green economy with grid alternatives. And then after Anthony and or Shamika come up, we'll invite Torianto, I hope I pronounced that name correctly, from SEIU, United Healthcare Workers, to share a little bit about what those pathways look like for tech and CNA certification and patient care and those pathways in healthcare. And then after them, we will ask for a representative to, I think for Sherry with the Labor Commissioner's Office, to share a little bit about what some of the workers' rights information that'll be shared over the course of this project. So grid alternatives, if you want to give the folks a little taste about what some of those career pathways look like and what those processes look like that folks can expect. Like solar work, electrical work, trade work. Are they here? Is
Tony, are you there? Anthony? I see them. And if you're speaking, you're on mute. Let's move. You want to move on into SEIU?
Sure, yeah, we can come back to Anthony. Is Shamika here too? Or Tony?
I don't see Shamika.
Okay, all right, we'll come back to Tony and we'll invite Torianto to come on through and share a little bit about the healthcare pathways.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for inviting us. Just want to make sure everybody can hear me out there. Am I coming through?
Yes,
Thank you very much. Thank you for clarifying that. First of all, I wanted to say thank you so much for allowing us to be here. This is a great opportunity to make sure we extend the world of healthcare opportunities to everyone, but especially our members, our areas, our home stomping grounds, like you stated. I keep hearing Long Beach. That's part of my area. I'm an organizer in the South Bay area. Once again, my name is Torianto Jurgen. I'm an organizer for SEIU UHW. I am filling in for a good friend of mine, Cynthia, who's the actual, what's the best word to say it? Education specialist behind this. She is the mastermind. She knows it all. And she believed in me to step in and have her back for today. So I'm filling in. Just to give you a quick background on the information for Futuro Health, to be clear, that's the name of the program, Futuro Health. It was established through negotiations between SEIU, Service Employee International Union, United Healthcare Workers West, and Kaiser Permanente during contract time. And it was a way to make sure we can get hired 10,000 new members. I repeat, 10,000 new jobs we're trying to get filled by 2028. That is our goal. So in partnership with that, we made it where they're going to pay and cover for the, I'm so sorry, can you bear with me one moment? Thank you for your patience. I apologize for that. So we got to hire at least 20 by 2028. We need to hire at least 10,000 new people in these jobs in the fields that you were referring to earlier. To go over that, certified nursing assistants, emergency medical technician, community healthcare workers, medical assistants, emergency room techs, patient care techs, peer support specialists, healthcare customer service, and parent care representatives. I wanted to make sure I didn't miss anything, so that's why I wrote them all down as far as the positions that we do have. And that is for free tuition and training. I repeat, it would be paid for, all you have to do is pay for registration fees. That registration fees is approximately 130. Don't quote me on that ballpark, but I really want to make sure we're on the up and up and you're getting the information that I'm providing clearly. I don't like it where something gets dismayed or someone's not aware of what's going on. So just to be clear though, the class itself is paid for, I repeat, paid for, the tuition, and we're going to do the training. Now there are some minimum requirements. You must be 18 years of age or older to apply. You have to be a California resident, able to work in the US. You have to have a high school diploma or GED, either one. Own a computer or have reliable access to a computer and have reliable internet. It is a must because some of the courses are just through the internet and you may be able to finish them within 4 to 6 months. So it has to be reliable. Be able to commit 3 to 4 hours per day to study time and up to 20 hours per week. You must have up-to-date immunizations. This is a big one. We really want to make sure we're clear on that. It's part of the program. It has to be done if you want to do the programs. Up-to-date immunizations, including COVID vaccine. It's a requirement because we have people we have to report to in regards to the agreement. And in the healthcare field itself, it is definitely needed as far as the COVID testers. So it's part of it. Last but not least, must be referred by a UHW member in good standing. So I'm sorry, Darren. I don't know if Cynthia sent you like a slide of anything with the QR code or the information. Did she send you anything like that? I'm not sure if she was able to do it.
Probably from the past. I can pull it up one second.
If you could show one if you get a chance, whenever you get a chance. I just really want to make sure I was clear on the specifics of what we were dealing with. So the opportunity is there. We want to make sure everyone takes advantage of it. Now, once again, due to me being an organizer for the South Bay area, that includes Torrance, that includes Gardena, that includes, Palos Verdes, that area. So those would be the areas that we would take care of, but we also have other Kaisers, of course, across the line, and I'm quite sure that's where Cynthia will come into more play with, especially across the board, even going out to San Bernardino and everything, any Kaiser along that way, she would probably be able to give you more information. However, we really just wanted to make sure we extend this offer to everyone and get this out to you because we want to have those opportunities filled. We want to make sure you have an opportunity to get into the healthcare field because the jobs are needed, but there are certain requirements. We just really want to make sure you're aware of that upfront.
Thank you, Torian. So am I pronouncing your name correctly, Torian?
Actually, you did a great job. I try to help people out and say you can just call me Tori. So if that makes it simpler, a little bit easier for everyone, that is the best option. But if you, Darren, I believe we have that to you. If you do not, I apologize, ladies and gentlemen. I'll make sure, or Cynthia will make sure she'll get it to Darren before, I would at least say before the end of the week to give her some time. if
And I'm
that's
sure
okay with everyone.
I'm sure she'll bring all those details too on the EduSeries month when she comes to actually present on the full details of the entire program. So
Cool.
yeah, and we can send it out with the you guys. Melissa mentioned earlier, after each of these sessions, we'll send a link to where you can share these and go back to gather information. So we can include that link if you do get it to us. We can include it then too.
Okay.
Yeah, and you mentioned that, you know, you can only get into some of these programs by referral, and this is what the SoCal Hub is doing, like building these relationships with these various industries and experts in the industry who are holding these pathways. Because while we may not be a direct member, we're establishing membership relationships where those referrals are trusted through the Black Worker Hub too. So, Toriana, I
Exactly.
appreciate you. Yep.
No problem. Any questions or anything I need to know? But did I miss anything? I didn't look at the chat. I'm sorry. I was trying to make sure I was able to. Is there anything I need to clear up?
Invite people to ask questions in the chat. We've got 3 minutes left in this segment.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't want to take up any time.
You're fine.
Is Tony here with Grid Economy?
I mean, his icon is there.
I mean, Grid Alternatives.
Messaged them. I don't see them on the call anymore. I don't know if they disconnected.
Okay.
We can move on to Sherry or Greg from CR.
Yeah, we could go to share. I'll just say for Grid Alternatives real quick. When you see on the calendar of industry topics that come up over these next few months, if you have folks or you yourself are interested in work in the green economy, it is solar work, it is electrical work, it is trade work, it's construction work. They provide the training and they support the career placement. So I'll just share that for them since they're not here. So when you see them come up, those are the types of careers that you'll want to make sure that you join to learn more information about. And so, yeah, so we will transition to our workers' rights representative, Sherry Bell, with the Labor Commissioner's Office to share a little bit about the types of rights that'll be covered throughout the series. Sherry. Am I glitching?
I don't see Sherry either.
Actually, I just reached out to her. I don't think she's on yet, but she's trying to get off her call and then jump on. So maybe I can go first and then.
Sure. Let's go, Gregory, with the California Civil Rights Department.
Yeah, I know Sherry because we're both on the board of the LA Black Worker Center. So down with the hub, but I'm here tonight as a senior attorney mediator for the California Civil Rights Department. Our mission is to protect people of California from discrimination in employment, housing, business disputes, or not business disputes, in businesses, and basically any kind of discrimination. We investigate discrimination complaints. Tonight I'll focus on employment law. So anybody suffers employment discrimination, they can file a complaint with us for free. We investigate it. We prosecute some cases in court, but we really try to mediate cases between employers and employees. We also issue regulations, collect data on pay differences, and do a lot of engagement and outreach and education. So if people go to our website, I'll put it in the chat, they can learn what their rights are in employment and housing and all aspects of discrimination in California. We also work against hate. I'm part of the Community Conflict Resolution Unit. We work with communities that are experiencing discrimination and work to try to stop hate. We also have the California versus Hate program where people can report hate crimes and hate incidents and get resources if they've witnessed or survived hate crime. So Civil Rights Department, we do a lot. Somebody mentioned filing a claim with EEOC, the federal version of what we do. We actually do most of the investigations that are filed with the EEOC. So I would encourage folks to just file with us directly, especially over the next 3 years. And like I say, for employment discrimination, it's free to file. It's a process. It takes a little while, but we do investigate and then make a determination of whether discrimination occurred, and then we try to immediately mediate the cases. So even though the investigation can take up to a year, we try to get folks into mediation with their employer within a few months to see if we can resolve the case up front. And again, all our services are for free. And I would just encourage people, if they want a training about employment discrimination, housing discrimination, the Crown Act, we protect, can't think of what it's called right now, but if somebody has a record, it shouldn't stop you from getting a job. We do that as well. So people should reach out if they want any kind of training or any kind of knowledge around discrimination. We'd be happy to help.
Thank you, Gregory. So, and the Crown Act, for those who don't recall, we had a session on that last year with the IE Black Worker Center. Any discrimination against our hair, our numbers of hair, our styles of hair. So yes, right, protect it. And shout out to everyone who participated in helping to win Senate Bill 1430. Part of our protection work includes systems change and having to establish and build some protections through policy work. And so because of that fight, we won the ability to be able to file and address these claims locally instead of waiting 8 months for the state EEOC. As Gregory just said, we now can have those claims processed more locally and adjudicated more locally. So thank you, Gregory. So I'm going to, oh, there's a resource guide. Thank you, Melissa. A lot of this information is in this resource guide. Some of you may have it from last year. Those who are new, please check it out. There will be a link in the chat where you can grab that resource guide. There's much more information and some details there. And then there is a quick poll. We're going to go to breakout so that y'all can, connect with each other. Darren will invite you into some questions for the breakout, but just a quick poll. We talked about some of the various industries. Melissa, can you go to the slide that'll show the topics? There's the schedule. It's from the schedule slide that has, oh, there's Sherry, but we're good. Oh no, she's here now. Melissa, there's the slide that has the EduSeries schedule, and there's the box that thank you, love. And so you all see there, healthcare industry, technology, public sector, right? So like the Los Angeles Black Worker Center has a 1,000-strong campaign where there's been a effort to push to get a pipeline directly into city jobs, county jobs, state jobs. So we have a quick poll. In addition to all of these, what are some of the industries that you are most interested in learning more about? Just want to kind of get a soft assessment by the folks who are with us tonight and see what that would look like. Go ahead and answer that poll. I'm going to pass this to Darren so that we can make space for folks to connect directly.
I have a question for Gregory Mann.
Can you drop it in the chat for him, Charles? And then Gregory, can you answer Charles in the chat?
I'd rather wait for a breakout because it's a little extensive.
Great, we'll go into the breakout and we'll try to get you in the space with him.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
You're welcome, Charles.
All righty.
Yep.
Are they, real quick, are they still answering the poll right now?
Yep, the poll responses are coming in. Keep them coming, y'all.
So do we want to give space for them to finish answering before we go into
we could give maybe a minute. As folks are answering it, you can maybe share what some of the questions are. We can put them in the chat for folks to consider during their breakout time too.
Okay, that's fine. All right, y'all. So as Don said, continue answering the poll. We will be collecting this data, so it's much appreciated. So in a second, we're going to get into the breakout groups, and we have a few questions we would like for you all to center some discussion around. The first question is, given today's current political and social climate, how do you think C is impacting the Black community? So think about everything that is happening right now with the attack of immigrants here in California, not just like the brown folk, the Black folk as well. And think about too, like how it's also impacting the citizen and just the overall people of the state of California. Other question is, what recommendations do you have for Black workers during this time? So again, finish answering the questions in the poll. We're going to switch it over in a few minutes and we'll get everyone into breakout groups so you can have a discussion, and we'll bring you back and we'll hear back from some of you all.
Melissa, can you remind us how many breakout groups we'll have, and do we want to like give space for at least 2 or 3 groups? If will we ask folks to be prepared to share some of these responses in the chat? Is that where we'll want those? And then maybe have a group or 2 that has some hot stuff to share out loud?
Yeah, we probably can get 2 groups. I'm making small groups of about 4 people, so everybody gets a chance to share.
Awesome.
And I've got Gregory. Hopefully that works out. All right, we ready? I'm going to open the rooms. Look for the room invitation on the bottom of your screen, whether it's your phone or your computer device, and click to join the group. You'll be discussing the questions in the chat.
All right, Melissa, I'm sure you're probably going to do this. Can you flash the questions again on the screen? You know what I'm talking about?
Say again, I'm working on something. Say it again.
Flash the questions on the screen so they can see them in the chat. We can put them, on the screen. Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I
Thank you.
Yeah.
I like that feature.
Cool. And you can stop recording temporarily.
All right.
Apologies. Did y'all like come to me like to say something or
What they heard from the chat. Thank you. So do we have one volunteer to share some juicy highlights that they may have heard from their group?
Yeah, like specifically, if y'all had a powerful conversation about how this current political climate is affecting our community, or if you or some dope recommendations came out of your group, we do want to
What
hear
y'all
them.
doing?
Hi, Hassan.
Can y'all mute Monet? We love your voice, but
I got her.
and then otherwise, we really want to capture everyone's responses. So yeah, definitely just drop them in the chat. But just remember the questions. We wanted you all to connect directly, but how is the current climate affecting Black community? That's what we would like you to drop in the chat so we can capture that from you. And then any recommendations that you're having for Black workers, and any key questions about this year's Edu series. Those are the things we really want to capture. Sorry, Darren, you invited someone to come up and share.
Oh no. I think if I'm seeing correctly, I think it was Dana had their hand raised. Yeah, that's Dana. Go ahead, Dana. Take yourself off mute and share with the crew.
Okay, I felt like we had some juicy bits in our breakout room. We discussed that in general, the consensus is that we're disgusted with how things are going with the current administration. And that was pretty much with the period after it. We also got that we're resilient people and that we've been through that which caused things to be as good as they are for us already. So we have the prototype to overcoming this. The second question was around what do Black workers need to do? Our consensus was that Black workers need to come together in solidarity. We need to know where the resources are. We need to attend events like this and share. One of the brothers in our group said we need to skill up. Trades are becoming paramount in the current economy to sustain through AI and mechanics. So skill up and be alert and aware of the opportunities when they come up. So we see an opportunity that although our Latino brothers and sisters might be losing their work, that we might be able to fill those gaps where we've always said they took all our jobs. So we got to get to the jobs and apply. The third question around the EduSeries is that we plan to attend, that this is much needed, very valuable. And the question that was on the table is, can we invite anyone? Can our organizations invite our friends and loved ones to the EduSeries? Thanks, that was it.
Absolutely. These are open to our Black worker community partner organizations, their members, their friends and family.
Perfecto. Melissa, I would like to ask, do we have time for one more or do we have to move on?
I think we do. I know I'm not Melissa, but I think we have time.
I can't hear you, yeah.
Yeah, we are at time. We are 5 minutes over.
Okay. Well, thank you
But-
all for sharing. Continue
Yeah,
to
I will-
share. Oh, go ahead.
No, I
Melissa.
think you can, if they're gonna be really short and sweet.
Another group's highlight. If you could keep it fairly short, we can make space for another group's highlights. Recommendations for Black workers, how the current climate is impacting our community, or questions about this year's series.
Come on,
This
one.
is Aaliyah Javon from the Earth Lodge. Just mental health, keeping our minds and our bodies intact. Mental health is wealth. It's an abundance of wealth to be able to deal with the impacting changes that are happening rapidly. So meditation, journaling, hertz frequencies being played, and things of that nature, and continuing to hydrate.
Hi, this is Andreen, and quickly in our group, what we said that we as how it's affecting the Black community is that they're actually trying to do away with the Black community in America, and that the way we need to come together in terms of creating power and vote, as a group, because I was telling them something that Roland Martin had said that in Texas, the minorities are 61% of the population, but only like 30% actually voted, whereas 61% of the white people voted, and that's why they won. And that's what happens, because we're going to be the majority. The minority, there's going to be no majority because it's going to be all minorities. And if we could come together, we could take, that's the plan is to take back Congress in 26. So that's what we talked about.
Thank you, Sister Andreen.
Yes, that wealth of knowledge. All righty. Thank you all for those juicy responses and also just being mindful of our community next door to each other, shoulder to shoulder, doing this work together. These are actually, before I move on, want to shout out to the poll results and shout out to Melissa for working so fast, y'all, and putting this on this screen in this moment. These are actually the results that you all just shared with us. And the top two looks as though it's green economy and public sector, which is really, really dope because we're working with Grid Alternatives, who will be sharing some of those access points into some of their pathway programming and giving us some clues and some points on other green economy pathway specific organizations out there. And then we're actually going to be looking to bring in our partner, the reason for the season, Los Angeles Black Worker Center, collaborating with them so they can talk about their Ready to Work program, how they center conversation on public sector work. So I'm excited about that because we didn't really get them last year, but we got y'all this year. Y'all will be doing y'all big one, and we're excited about that. Okay, y'all. This is kind of a bittersweet moment, just because we're at the end of it all, but I'm happy to have y'all back here. This feels like a family reunion. But before we send y'all on y'all way, we have a few things we want to share with you all. I think Aaliyah said it earlier from the Earth Lodge. Our next big thing that y'all need to mark on y'all calendars, if you haven't already, RSVP for our Black August event. This is the second installment of it. Last year we had it in South LA at the Beehive. This year We're going to be hosting it at the Gathering Spot out in Los Angeles on West Adams, y'all. So if you haven't already, come. We have a juicy agenda. We're going to have food. We're going to have drinks. We're going to have family in there doing a cha-cha slide. And I want to see y'all bust a move, okay? All right. Yes, we are done. Yes, we are. We will be having fun this year. So everybody definitely RSVP and come out. And we're gonna continue this education. We'll continue this work, and we're gonna talk about how we're gonna do it for the remainder of this year and in 2026. Who's sharing?
I am. I don't know where Melissa went. Oh, wait. Oh, you are here. I'm sorry, Melissa.
I thought you was going to show the flyer. I was like, go ahead, show the
I
flyer.
know. That's what I was looking for. Melissa, you have it or?
Yeah, Melissa, drop the flyer in the chat for sure. How about
No, everybody, no, they need to go to the website and get it. Come on. We
Ooh,
gotta get that
excuse
website.
me. That's right. That's right. Go to the website, see the flyer and RSVP. Y'all definitely be there if you're in the LA area. If you're not, travel in. And if you need a way, talk to us. We'll figure out how to get you here. Period. No excuses.
The links are in the chat. The links are in the chat. I'm typing them right now.
All righty. While Melissa dropped the links in the chat, I'm gonna move on to the next big event. So our partner agency, the Los Angeles Black Worker, oh, excuse me, not Los Angeles, I'm so sorry. The San Diego Black Worker Center is having their traditional annual Black Worker Summit in San Diego on September 6th. This event is mad dope. It was one of the first events I went to when I first got hired. Dunn pulled me in. We drove down to San Diego to show our support and love, y'all. This is a dope event. They have workshops, they have keynote speakers, they have a lot of educational and resource material, community-led orgs out there, Black community orgs that they work with and partner with. A really good event if you all are in the San Diego area. Definitely RSVP. If you're interested and you're in the Los Angeles Inland Empire area, RSVP too. Think about it, plan it. It's enough time. We would love to have you there. We would love to get you there. We're going to show up and show out for our partners at San Diego Black Worker Center. And the last thing, last but not least, the Echo Black Voices series is back. So definitely go check us out at the SoCal Black Workers United.org//echo to check out our calendar. We kind of shared it earlier. We have a myriad of topics, a myriad of specific industry-specific organizations that we're going to be working with, like Grid Alternatives in the Green Economy. We're going to be doing healthcare. We're going to be doing public sector. You think about it, we're covering it, we're talking about it, we're getting Black workers connected, and most importantly, we're getting them jobs and we're keeping them protected, especially in this high political climate right now. So everyone, thank you all for coming. I do want to invite the Hub team and partners, if you all have anything y'all want to share, now is the time. Here is the lovely Black August Save the Date flyer. With all the beautiful information on there. Yes, y'all, check us out. And again, I want to open the floor up to the team and our partners to share anything. This has been a lovely evening, and I love y'all, so I'm gonna be super vulnerable and transparent. I am tired. So somebody else come in here and take the floor before we close out.
Hey Darren, I just wanted to ask, has anybody's contract been executed, the CWOP 5.0? I have not heard anything back. This is Dolores from the High Desert Black Worker Center.
Hi, Dolores. I can answer, D. You want me to answer?
Yeah, go ahead, please.
So this year, Department of Industrial Relations has been administering this statewide project. They've had a number of delays throughout the top of this year. They are just now getting to the reviews of the applications. They prioritize the fire areas, just a heads up. And so that does include Southern California in there. So they are just now reviewing the applications. They are just now reviewing the budget sections of those applications. Dolores, we are hopeful that we are hearing something like confirmation by the end of this month. That confirmation should come in the form of an email saying we reviewed, here's the contract and it needs to be signed, and then budget stuff can get moving from there. So, I think we're all a little not happy about the delays, but I think it's, one of the challenges in working with these, these government contracts. So they're in the works. We just got that word day before yesterday. So, keep a lookout in your emails, and great question.
Thank you.
You're
Done.
welcome. All right, we are pretty complete, y'all. If you have any other lingering questions, feel free to drop it in the chat. We can try to answer it quickly, but otherwise, have a great evening. We look forward to seeing y'all at Black August. The official Edu series start on the 30th in 2 weeks. Thank y'all for coming in.
Thank you. Thank you all.
Bye, family.
Thank you. Have a good night, everyone.
Thank you so much.
Bye-bye, y'all.
Oh yeah, bye. And anybody want to reach out to me just like about Labor Commissioner's Office, you could go through Don or Darren and they will put you in contact. If you got any questions about our processes that Greg so kindly mentioned. Thank you.
Thank you, Sherry.
To have good paying jobs, to have jobs with big
Thank you, guys.
to every single aspect of your life.
In what ways can philanthropy support and resource Black worker centers?
It is their responsibility to not meet
Take care, y'all.
but continue what we did here in Los Angeles. That's what I'm talking about.